Good morning. It's 9 o'clock, so we'll call this meeting to order and start with a prayer by Jimmy, and then we'll do the pledge.
Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, I just come to you thanking you, Lord, for all you do for us. Lord, I just ask you just to be with us as we go about the county business. I ask you just to help us to make the right choices for the county and for everyone involved. Lord, I thank you for all you do for us. I ask you just to be with our soldiers and first responders and all. Watch over and take care of them, Lord. Bring them home safely. Lord, just go with us now and help us in everything that we do. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, Ms. Barber. If you'd like to go over these general funds and some other things.
Yes, sir. Commissioners, I want to go over first what I would like to do today and request that y'all make these decisions. These are going to be things that we talked about last week based on presentations from all of these department heads and elected officials. And then I've gone back through the budget and developed a list of questions. The most pressing one is the salary cost. We need to make a decision on whether or not you want to give raises, and if you do, how much that might be. And in addition to that, I have a list of other questions, various items that have come up that y'all go through there. I've placed two items at your desk there. The first one is a color-coded copy of what you approved on February the 7th for the use of the American Rescue Plan funds. And I also added the account codes there so that you can see where those are located in the current budget. My understanding is that any funds that are remaining at September 30th would roll into those same accounts for next year. That's what we had discussed in February. And one other reason why I did that list was because Jeff Cage from the maintenance barn questioned whether or not we still had money set aside for a huge crane truck, and we do have that. We have $85,000 set aside there, plus $30,000 for our maintenance shop, additional tools and equipment. So there's not any changes here. This is just the final page that you voted on, and it's color-coded by precinct and by shared equipment and maintenance barn, and I just placed those at your chair so that you would have it. I also put another item there. It's the human services. It's various service organizations within the county that the county supports, the Child Welfare Board, funerals, CASA, EDCADA, Northeast Texas Child Advocacy. There's a long list there. So it's going to be something that we continue to do unless you don't want to. I did bring to your attention the County Judge and Commissioners Association membership. It's going to need to be increased by about $250 because it went up this year. We had to have a budget amendment for that one. Everything else stays the same. Autopsies are also coded here. This year, we've not spent as much as what we've done in previous years on autopsies, but keep in mind that this is we're in April, we're only about halfway through. And then the same thing with body transports. We've not spent as much this year as what we did last year, but historically we spent nearly $15,000. So those are things I could do. So is it okay if I just jump right in, Judge?
Yes, and I don't see anything there that we do need to eliminate. What is that, the Texas 21, if you don't mind, Barbara?
Texas 21, okay. Well, you can see that we've not paid them yet.
Right.
I say the county requires that they provide us with a financial statement, and if the county gives a financial statement, then we don't fund them. I can't tell you right off what Texas 21 is, but I looked it up last year, but I still can't remember what it is. I will do that for you, Judge. I'll send you all an email.
I was just noticing that we hadn't paid, and then we didn't pay, hadn't paid it all on it, so I didn't know if that was later annually or what that was.
Yes. Like I said, we request financial statements. The county had done that for a number of years, and then for whatever reason, they weren't up to date. So we started that in 19, and now everybody knows that they have to bring it, but there are a few that we have to remind, and, even the donation we made to the Talco Museum, those papers had a financial statement. Now, it was handwritten on a piece of paper, but they had bank statements to back it up. So we require something from them. And the Commissioners Court approves the list. Generally, it's not something you do annually, it's just if you make a change. The last time I can find that in the minutes is from October of 12. So in October of this year, I plan to have a list for y'all so that you can just kind of keep up with all that so that the files are appropriately papered. The biggest thing that we need to discuss today are the salaries. There's been some discussion, and Judge Cooper asked me to look at 3 different options. The first option is 9% for the sheriff's office, 7% for all other. The second option is 7% for the sheriff and 5% for all other. And the third one is 5% for the sheriff's department and 3% for all other. So the cost of those items, the first one, the 9 and 7, the total of that is $705,000 plus benefits. With benefits is $853,000. That's the 9 and the 7. Now, my understanding is that we want to give those, y'all want to give those in a bucket. Is that just for the sheriff, or is that for every department?
Every department.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the first one. $705,000 for salaries, and with benefits, it comes to $853,000. The second one is 7% for the sheriff's department and 5% for everyone else. With benefits, that comes to $628,000. And then the last option, well, there are many options, but these are the 3 I was asked to put together. 5% for the sheriff's department and 3% for all other. $334,000 with benefits is $404,000. It's important that we have something to go through, because as we have to have the budget filed with the county clerk's office by August the 15th, and the calculations have to be done. And so this is the meeting that we normally make those decisions. We will not give a vote today. All we're discussing is the plans for the proposed budget. However, I would request that if you're not confident with your decision, it's important that we do that, because the treasurer's office and my office will have to redo any work that we do if you change your mind from what we're doing today. It's a lot of work. We're willing to do it, but we want to do it twice.
Any thoughts on these percentages raised? I know we're behind still at the 11% that we're behind, but that don't necessarily mean that we can catch up and still do what we need to do. But I do feel that we need to give some type of raise with inflation and everything that's going on. Our taxpayers are also feeling that at the tax window as well, but our employees are certainly feeling it just the same. So,
well, if you don't pay your people, you're going to lose them to other jobs.
We're going to lose them, and then you've got training, and you've got errors and training, and a whole bunch. I know it sounds like a lot of money, but it can save money as well, keeping your employees. So,
Barbara, you said that 7 and 5 was 628. What was it with benefits and everything on the 7 and 5?
7 and 5.
Yeah.
Without the benefits, it's $520,000.
Okay.
With benefits, it's $628.
Okay.
Really, almost $629.
I think the 7 and 5% would be my opinion on it.
like I said, I think we need to do something there, and I think the 7 and 5 is nowhere near at the 11%, but it does help across the board, I feel like. So. Anybody else got any thoughts on that? Talking about 200 and something thousand, so that's a penny on the taxes is basically from the 5% to the 7%. Because every 200,000 is about a penny that we cut. Is that, you're the accountant? You're the accountant, so you tell me if I'm right or wrong. So you're not talking about a huge jump there, going with the 7% and the 5%.
But when we do a 5%, we're giving it to everybody their own, where they can raise their people.
They will grade their people and do in their offices how that they see fit to that. So someone says, well, how's that fair? Well, the department heads know who's doing the best jobs and needs the most money. That'll be up to them. And they say, well, is that fair to them? Well, it's not really fair to give one across the board, and they've got someone over there that's not performing. And so and once again, they can do exactly what they want to with it. If they want it across the board when they get it there, then it goes across the board. So
Does this need a motion on this?
I don't think it needs a motion. We just need to kind of decide which one that and we're not voting today,
Right.
but that way we've got a figure for them that we feel comfortable with. I don't necessarily feel comfortable with the 9 and the 7 because that's almost 2 cents on your 100,000 there. But I think that with everything on the tax rate and all would be fine to stay at that rate. But we just need it's not a set in stone deal, I understand that, but we need to, if we're going to decide on one of those, we don't want Barbara doing the 9 and say, oh, well, we didn't really think we could do that. We got to start with a figure that we feel comfortable with, and once we get those numbers back from Barbara, we'll know for sure if this is a possibility or not, but we need to move forward with some number.
These are the numbers that go in the proposed budget for the public hearing that will hold. At that time, what we ask you is to approve the raises, all the elected official salaries, and then the tax rate, or the overall budget too. But in order for you to do that, I have to know what you want.
Right.
What you want to have in there. So Judge Cooper and Mr. Parchman have discussed or mentioned, recommended 7 and 5%. So is that?
I feel comfortable with that, and that speaks for me.
Okay. Y'all agree with that too?
Yes, I'm good.
Okay.
Jimmy?
Yeah.
So if you'll figure that on the 7 and the 5, then Barbara?
What we usually do is we have a spreadsheet, and we'll work with the treasurer's office. Nanette has volunteered to work with the sheriff's office again because I showed y'all his color-coded page. It's very intricate. And so we'll work with the treasurer's office, and we give that to the elected officials, and then you prepare how you want it to be, and then sign off on it. And then we know that the elected official made those decisions as to who within their office got what percentage. We obviously I don't know who works hard in the county clerk's office and who may need more or less, or extra, those kinds of things.
And once again, they've got that discrepancy to do.
Right.
And they may all be doing a great job and want everybody to have the same, so.
And we had some last year who did that, and some who did not.
I just feel it gives the department head an advantage of being able to take care of their people appropriately. If you're going to be their boss, if we sit here and say, nope, everybody gets it, and they come to you department heads, some of you are sitting out there, they come to you and say, well, I need this or that, and you say, well, the judge and commissioner said it straight across the board, so puts a little pressure on the department heads, but I feel like they know how to handle the job better than we do. I can't run your office near as well as you can, so.
I like how they did it last year also. As far as giving us that option, we want to do 5% across the board, 30, or not changing, I'm changing, but.
And you can tweak that whatever,
It takes a little more time for the elected officials because they have to sit down and look at that and evaluate their employees, but it allows the elected officials to recognize the people in their office who are integral to the office. may need to, work a little harder or be on time more, or whatever it is that the elected official sees.
Like I said, I'm in agreement to put it in a bucket, then the elected official will do that. Everybody, if they want everybody to have it, everybody gets it, so the other way, they have no option. The other way, it's one swoop. That's all the way they can do it, so I feel that's the way we should.
I'm sorry, there's no incentive for people to work hard if everybody gets the same raise or recognition at the end of the year.
Everybody shouldn't get a trophy is what we're trying to say.
Okay. Now I have a list. It's a good size list. I've been through the whole budget and looked at that. The last item on this list is related to the fire department, so I think that discussion may take a little longer. The district attorney's office, we had talked about the fact that he had an investigator in software, which normally would offset the county reimbursement. At our last meeting, we talked about leaving those both in there for now. Is that still the pleasure of the court, or do you want to take those out?
It's my pleasure. I'm talking with David Colley across the street. We will be working with that. John Mark is spoke with some lawyers, and we will be resolving that other issue, and I believe we'll have that resolved one way or the other, so we'll know whether we need to take that out before we vote or not, but let's leave it in at this time, and then that way we can move it out if it comes to that. Y'all understand what she's talking about, because Pittsburgh hadn't been paying, Kemp County hadn't been paying their amount, so that's, if we take that out, that almost, it maybe $1,000 difference in what they're supposed to be paying or something.
With the investigator, the salary and benefits, and the software is $87,000. Kent County should be reimbursing us about $84,000.
So $2,000 or $3,000, right?
Yeah. Difference there, but we're going to put it in for now.
Let's leave it in there until John Mark gets back with our attorneys on that and see where we stand.
Okay. The next question, this is also related to salaries, is the auto allowances. We discussed those. Apparently, the county has discussed those for decades. And I know that commissioners, y'all all gave that money back. You just did away with it. I say you. It was before all of you came, is my understanding. But that money was not rolled into your salary. It simply went away, and you were required then to return in mileage. So we have a list of people who are currently receiving those auto allowances, and the recommendation from Judge Lee last year was that we roll a portion of that into their salaries and allow them to turn in mileage for the rest of those funds. Now, keep in mind, the other reason that we need to do that is because we've not been paying retirement on that, and it is subject to retirement.
All right. I think on that, Barbara, the problem is, yes, it is part of they're considering it part of their salary, and I understand that, so I don't want to take it all away, but this court has not been involved with that, with me and Joe D anyway, but there have been needing those mileage, and we hadn't had those turned in. Only ones that turned those in that I have seen come across the desk was Callie and them down at the Ag Extension, and their numbers met up pretty close to what we needed. So if we take that auto allowance, and just my opinion, if we move 60% of that over into their salary, and then you got 40% of mileage, you can make that mileage, then you've got that extra money. And it's not us taking away something, it's a liability for the county that we've got as far as not putting that in their retirement. It's cost those employees over the years because it's just been an auto allowance with no mileage, no anything. All the commissioners, myself, any mileage that I drive and get, I turn in mileage for. All the commissioners, Jimmy still turns his in. Well, all three of them except for Joe D do at this time. Dana will be going to an auto car. So with that being said, I don't mind going to putting 60% over there. It will help them. It'll help them with their retirement and their funds that go in there. And if after next year we come in and we see, hey, there's not that much mileage, then we'll have an adjustment. Right now we have no number to pick from as far as what to go with that auto allowance versus can't go 100% over there because there is some mileage for all of those officials that get that. And once they turn that in, I don't mind making an adjustment the next year. And once again, it's not taking money away from them, it's putting money appropriately so that the county is not liable for those deals. And they've done it wrong for years and years. And I'm a new guy, and I look like the bad guy, but I don't want the county to be out $2 and $3 and $4 million down the road. Whoever the next county judge is or the next commissioners, they kept pushing it down the road. Sometime it needs to be fixed, and I think that's the best way to handle it, so that everybody, and it'll help the employees as well as far as their retirement and what goes into their salary and their benefits package. Any thoughts?
No, I agree with what you just said.
I'm good with that.
Commissioner, keep in mind, 2 years ago, you asked for every elected official to turn in their mileage just the same way that you all do, and we did not get those. We got those only from Luann Rollins and Callie.
Zolak.
So we don't have a number to go to follow to determine what percentage should go to salary and what percentage should go to mileage. We didn't get that. And those elected officials, everyone who had an auto allowance were reminded repeatedly that they could not turn that in, and we just never got it. So I think that's the reason why Judge Cooper is trying to come up with a number that seems to be fair, to put that directly into salaries so that their retirement, so that they can benefit from that retirement on that. The way it's been, that money has not gone into their retirement. Now, our treasurer, who now does payroll, has talked to TCDRS, and when we find an error like this, we're required to fix it. We are not required to go back. In fact, they don't do that. So that's what we need to do, is to make that correction.
I think it was 2 years ago when they talked about going to strictly mileage and away from vehicle limits. We started kind of logging for just a few weeks or so our mileage, and Judge Lee told us that they weren't going to make any changes until we were out of office, so because we didn't even keep up with them. So that's why we haven't heard anything.
Okay. I'm sure that's true. He did not communicate that to me, and I sent y'all several emails, and I didn't get any response that said, Judge, yes, I didn't get any response except for the extension office. So, I'm not saying he didn't say that. I'm just saying that was not communicated to me, so I don't have any records to present to the Commissioner's Court. You may get, I'm not saying you didn't get it, Judge Lee. I didn't get it.
No, I didn't turn it in. We were just doing it.
Oh.
And then they made the decision that they were just going to leave it alone until the two constables went out of office and the new constables come in and they changed. And so we were told we didn't need to keep up the mileage. So we never heard anything because it happened so quick. Everybody, they talked about doing it. Then it just, so that's why we never heard anything. We were under the understanding we weren't supposed to.
Well, I think that decision was Judge Lee's recommendation for the following year, but for the current year, I was supposed to get those, and I didn't get those.
At the end of the day, it don't matter whose fault it is, Judge Lee's, whoever's fault, and I'm not blaming Judge Lee. Judge Lee did a good job while he was here. I'm not bad mouthing him, not saying that's what he told you. What I'm telling everyone is, legally, we have supposed to have been paying that retirement, and we're not doing it. And I don't want to be liable, and I don't want the next judge, if it's in 4 years, 8 years, whenever it is, to come into the same storm that this is, and having that liability for the taxpayers, not just me, it's the Titus County taxpayers, that they could be, they're liable for it because we're doing it the wrong way. And Dana spoke with, who'd you speak with, Dana, the TS, the tax people? TC, she spoke with them and said, yes, that is wrong. So since we know it's wrong, we have to correct it. If not, then we're even more liable.
Yeah, I just explained that she had said she hadn't been getting mileage. I explained to her why we hadn't turned any mileage in, because we were understanding we weren't supposed to.
Right. And I'm not arguing that either way. I don't know what Judge Lee told you. All I know is the only numbers that I had as far as knowing what numbers to move over which way was from the extension office with numbers for mileage. But with that being said, you'll be moving that money into salary, and then we're looking at the 5% interest, 5% pay raise too. So
60/40? Commissioner, are you good with that?
I say we can try that and see how it turns out. We can make some adjustments later.
Because that is general, it's not great, and for me, I'm estimating, now it's not.
okay, yeah, that'll be anybody. I don't know about general. It'll be anybody that has car allowances. John Mark has one, which is the county attorney. The constables have one. The JPs have one. Elections, and then the county extension. So there's 10 or 12. Is that correct?
Okay, Ada discussed with you something about rolling over all to the salary and getting a vehicle?
No.
Oh, no?
He told me that that y'all couldn't get to the mileage figure at $7,000. Is what he told me.
Well, the mileage, and this is the way that I see it.
I got you. That's no problem. We understand.
I don't work 8 to 5.
Neither do I.
Saturdays and Sundays, we work sometimes with call, you can see this, sometimes we spend Sunday, Saturday, 6 hours on one call. 3 in the morning, you don't get to your house until 7, at 8 you have to be in the office. You taking that out, you're taking off my salary, just like, Barbara said, it's not about the mileage, because I don't drive as much as the commissioners, they can spend the whole day driving, that way they can meet their mileage, just like Commissioner Fish, like Commissioner Fish said one day, I spend all day driving, look at the trees and see they need to be trimmed and stopped. We go to the jail, we go to calls, but you cut in the money, we don't need the mileage, then you cut on my paycheck. Even though Barbara said before, it's not your paycheck, it is part, because it is taken out of my check.
But we'll also be paying retirement on that as well, whereas right now we're not paying retirement on that.
What about the years that have been spent without retirement? What gets done about that?
That'll be your personal deal. If you want to get an accountant, an attorney, and sue the county, then that'll be up to you.
We have to sue the county again?
Yes, sir.
Why would we have to sue them again? If it's something that should have been being paid, why would we have to sue our county?
I'm just telling you, auto allowance goes over here, and salary goes over there, and that's why I'm trying to move it and get it to the correct amount. I'm not saying it's going to stay at the 60/40. If your mileage ain't there, then we'll need to look at that the next year. There's got to be accountability for that if we're paying it.
What you're saying, how that, what our agreement on,
I'm
asking about the past, I'm not understanding how we would have to sue our county.
You're going to have to put it in your car anyway. You would have to put it in your car, and then the county would have to put it in. But we just found this there, so we're just trying to make it right here going forward. So it's not our responsibility to go back and it's your responsibility to decide whether or not you want to go forward with that or not. It's not ours. They don't, the retired people don't police that. And so when I we just found out that it's like, you've got to fix this, so then it's all on you, whether or not, but you're going to have to put your money in there.
I get that, but how would it fall on us? We're not the ones that made the mistake. How does it fall on us?
But you still got your income, and you pay taxes on it. The only thing that was not done was the retirement.
Which the county has to match.
Okay, we'll figure out what it is, because if the county, then you have to put that tax down.
Yeah, that's what they said, but it's in a lawsuit. What I'm asking is, it's in a lawsuit. Why wouldn't the county just make that right?
Why did
If made the mistake, why wouldn't the county just?
I wasn't in office then, so I can't.
I know y'all are saying it's still, it's commissioner's court, and it's the county, even if it's different elected officials in those positions. It's still Titus County.
I understand. I'm not here to argue the fact with you. I'm just telling you what they've told us would happen. And so,
I'm just asking questions because it doesn't make
and I'm just saying, I understand what you're saying. I'm just telling you what the people have told us. If that's what they want to do, then they'll have to get them an accountant and find out exactly how much money they need, and then they'll have to sue the county for that amount of money. And that would be your choice. That's why I'm trying to correct this, because if we push it down the road and we push it down the road, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, just like a blister. And then when you get that blister so big, at some point it's going to pop.
And I get you're trying to stop it now. I'm just talking about the stuff that's in the, that's already done. That's why it's just weird to me that I've got to sue my county to get something that it seems probably is right behind the with, and the county court or whoever made those mistakes down the road.
And another problem with that is not just the county. Chris said the other day that he knew it was wrong, and the county wouldn't fix it, is what he said in that we had our meeting the other day. He said, I knew it was wrong and they wouldn't fix it. I know it's wrong now, and I'm going to fix it. That's all I can tell you, Ray, is that it's going to be done the right way so that whoever the next one is and the next one is, they don't have the same problem. And I don't want to be the bad guy. I'm just trying to fix a problem that I inherited. So.
I get that. I just want to, if we're going to fix the problem, I want to fix the problem now. We're going back to the problem.
But once again, that's up to you what you want to do with that. So.
Well, I want to fix it, but I don't want to sue my county that I work for. How's that going to look like that?
Going to look good.
I'm an employee. I want to sue my county that I work for. That's pretty lame. I want to get back in office. I think people out there know I'm suing the county that I work for. It's not going to help my chances to get reelected.
I understand. On to the next item, Ms. Barber.
I'm sorry that you've inherited that problem, but I appreciate the fact that you realize the importance of correcting it. And if it's your pleasure, we'll move forward with the 60/40, and then we'll look at that again based on the mileage that they turn in, and if it needs to be adjusted. We cannot adjust their salary in mid-year, but we can adjust their mileage in mid-year. So if we need to do that during the course of this next year, we can certainly do that.
I think it's the only fair way to do it without any numbers. Myself and everybody else is in agreements with it that I've talked to. Callie and them that did turn in their mileage is fine with it. John Mark, the county attorney, is fine with that. So I just want to fix the problem before it gets to too big a problem that we can't fix a problem.
Okay. The next item we talked about was the possibility of purchasing one car for the constables. We still want to do that using ARPA funds. We discussed $60,000.
They left a little early for us to decide if they want that or not.
Well, we can put it in there. We don't have to buy it if you don't want to.
I think those cars wore out. I probably would put it in there if it was me.
Buy one.
One, and then in a couple of years buy another.
Yes.
Longer term plan. Okay. Irma Dunn had an item on what she had turned into you, a $2 increase for one employee and 36 cents on the other one. I think you'd ask that question. The reason for that is because the employee where she had $2, that person was getting a raise effective May 1st because it was their 1-year anniversary, and she just wants that to continue. That's why the note is there, because her budget would have to be adjusted for that. We also discussed the district clerk, the passports that Marcus started doing. He's the one who put that in place. Just this year, since October, he's taken in $39,000 on passports and $7,000 on pictures. So he's taken in $46,000 for his office that comes to the county because he took on passports and pictures. He's not required to do that. He did that for his own decision. I wanted to bring to your attention that I got a letter from Cairo. They are good to send me a list. I'm sorry, that's that data. I have letter from NetData. They do all of our technology, all our software, and they sent me a list, and they will have an 8% increase on that. So that I had not communicated that to you before, so I'm going to be sure to communicate that to you. K-Road, that's something we have to budget. I mean, we have to bid this year. We usually do that for a discretionary exemption because you can't really have it's hard to change your computer system without exposing any inefficiencies to the public. So that we'll budget 10% increase. It may not be that, but they've not had an increase since I've been here. So it could be significant. Cell phones, do you want us to continue with what we've done at the 40 and 70 as, okay.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
that's good. The county clerk.
Barbara, on Jimmy's now, you'll need to put his to 70 because he's, okay.
I had that note. On the county clerk, she had asked for money from the technology fund. She had asked for $13,860, but of that amount, $8,600 was for cybersecurity. The problem with her asking for that out of that fund is the fund that she's asked for from is managed by both the district clerk and the county clerk. And that fund only has $17,000 in it, and she requested $13,000. Marcus had requested $5,000. So my recommendation is that we give both of them $5,000 of that fund. There are fees that go in there every month. And then we consider the possibility of using ARPA funds to pay for the cybersecurity for the county clerk's office the way we did for countywide everything else. Y'all approved the $37,000 and change.
Barbara, on that, you said there's how much in that account that they jointly?
$17,000. And her request alone is $13,600. So if we do what she's requested, that doesn't even leave enough for Marcus's, and then it goes in the hole. We can't allow it to go in the hole.
No, we don't want to go in the hole. But I didn't know if we might give them both a little more out of that account, since that is money that they have brought in there, close to half, or if Marcus don't think that's enough.
Usually they budget 5, and Marcus rarely uses it. It's just if needed, those funds that they're spending.
So-
They have to be spent for computer-related, not technology-related. So it's just if they need it. Now, she requested $5,600 for a scanner. So, I'm sorry, $5,000 for a scanner, and then the $8,620 for the cybersecurity.
So, but the 5,000 is not going to cover the scanner either, is what I'm beating around the bush about. So if we give them each 6,000, then that covers that scanner, and then she can get to the, is that,
Yes, sir.
okay. Y'all don't say a whole lot.
Will that price still be good for that scanner at that price that she give us?
Surely it won't go up 400, but it could.
Yeah, there's a 400 leeway in there.
Okay.
So then the cybersecurity, do you want to take that out of ARPA, like we did with the remainder, or do you want to put that somewhere in general county budget?
I think we probably need to take that out of the general county budget.
Okay. A one-time line item within the county clerk?
Yes.
Okay. We're waiting to hear from the juvenile board about the possible increase. Their meeting is on June the 15th. We hopefully will have all the salaries put together by that time, so we'll be able to move forward.
But he knows what that figure is if they do approve it, correct?
I'll get in contact with that day.
I think you ought to go ahead and put that in there. I don't see that there's any way that those district judges aren't going to vote for that, so.
On the commissioner's salaries, I understand that there have been, through the course of another long-term problem is that we've had commissioners paid at different rates because we had some precincts that did not accept salaries for for 1 year, none, half a year, just different things through the years. So the research that we've done is that the highest paid commissioner is currently Mr. Applewhite, so we're going to move them all to that number.
Yes.
What Sharon got me yesterday.
I think him and Jimmy are almost identical, but it's,
They're very close.
so. it's not, but anyway, whatever that highest one is, I'd like to go to that, and then any increases that we have will go, everyone will catch up to them. That way we're not penalizing the two commissioners that did what they were supposed to do the whole time. So, and then the other two will catch up.
And then the county judge, $1,500 more.
Right.
Okay. This item relates to to James's new position out at the maintenance barn. I sharpened my pencil a little bit, and at his current rate of pay, with benefits, it's $47,820. So we need to make a decision as to whether we will fund that with a quarter, 25% from each commissioner's budget, or from an increase to what general county puts in, general county taxes put into the maintenance bond. Currently putting $175,000 a year. So we want to increase that by $47,000, or do each of you want to cover $12,000, $11,955?
I'd like to increase it.
You pay for the tax money?
Yes.
Okay. Is that what everyone wants to do?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Everybody's good.
Thank you. We've got a notice from TAG. You know, anybody that uses a computer in the county is required to do that cybersecurity online training that takes about an hour. It's been free since I started. And now they are increasing it to $5 per person who uses that. It is a state requirement, it's a statute, so we have to do it. So it'll be $750. It's a new cost, but I think $750 is reasonable, because otherwise we would have to find someone to do that for us who met all those state requirements and get that all set up. And Monica's done a great job of getting everybody updated so it comes to the right person and all that. I just want to bring that to your attention. I have a question for the sheriff. I worked late last night and he was already gone, so it's on his fault that I don't have an answer. I just want to bring this to your attention. You know, he's told us that the jail is full and it continues to be full. So we had budgeted $497,000 for housing of federal inmates, and we've only taken in around $203,000. In prior years, one year we took in $602,000 and one year $643,000. So, as it stands currently, we're going to have about a $300,000 reduction in revenue from housing to federal inmates because the jail is full. I just want to bring that to your attention. Can't budget money that we obviously
Don't have. And he cut that. He doesn't have any cars coming in this new one. Is that right? So that's going to kind of offset that. So yes. Right.
The VA officer, you know, Kent County is no longer going to do that for us. Do y'all want to leave the money that's currently in the budget there for us to decide, for you to decide what you want to do in the future?
I'd like to leave that there. I'd like to speak with the director over at New Boston. He does several of our people over there without us giving him anything. And from all those that I've talked to, does an outstanding job over there. So that may be something that we need to help our veterans. And I know it makes them drive, but at least he does them a good job. And we may want.
They decided not to take us on no more?
Pittsburgh sent us a letter saying they're not going to do us anymore.
My understanding is that the lady who does that only wanted to work a limited amount of time, and in order for her, she does a really good job of getting everybody happy with her, but that in order for her to do the work at the level she'd like to have it done, she had too much work to do for the full time. But they sent us a letter and said, we're out.
So Camp County cut us out again.
The next item
But
is
we're still protecting them fire-wise. What do you think about that? I'm sorry. I said, but we still protect them. We've got a mutual agreement with our fire department to help them.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, the next item is related to the fire Fire Department, we pay the insurance on the volunteer fire department equipment, their trucks, their whatever they have. This year it cost us $37,382. We budgeted $38,000, so, we've got $700 left. In any case, I think we need to add to that for next year because we all know insurance is going up. So I'm thinking, what percentage do y'all think is a good number? I'm thinking maybe a 15% increase on that $38,000. We won't spend it if it's not bad.
Yes.
That sounds reasonable. That
It'll be
sounds
very
reasonable.
close, yeah.
15% increase.
We have had, Dr. Jump and I talked to Marcus Williams the last time he was here about sending us a list for the amounts that each volunteer fire department returns to us for the health and accident insurance that we pay. Three departments have paid, and two other ones, I sent an email just reminding them. They're not like and so two of them showed up here asking us, and we don't have that information. That's based on the number of, or my understanding is, it's based on the number of volunteers that they have, and so it fluctuates every year. So we didn't get anything. Marcus told us he would get that for us. We've not got anything, so I sent an email to Brad Eubanks, Marcus Williams, and Jerry Ward and asked them for that information. We've not gotten it, but Brad says he's working on getting that together for us. My goal, I just want to make sure that the county is reimbursed from everyone, and that we're not out any money. We just agree to front it for them, not to pay it for them. So if you need a question about that, yes, I'm asking for the list.
Jim, who can we, who knows that figure? I mean, you don't know it and she don't know it, so if they come to pay Dana.
Brad usually takes care of it.
Okay.
I'll mention it.
If you mention him, because I want to pay you, but I don't know what you need to pay me, so it's.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said that he'd send it to all of them, and I told him he just forward us those emails. But he said it's taking some time to get it together. But we don't have any information. I don't know how many, volunteers need to be covered. The number is usually about the same. The cost is about the same, but the number, and we can see based on the runs, some volunteer fire departments have significantly more participation than others. Electricity at the courthouse. If we continue the way we're going this year, we're going to spend around $53,000. We've only budgeted $47,000, so we're going to have a shortage this year. And keep in mind the summer months have not hit yet.
Better go turn that air up.
Yeah.
So I'm going to need to increase that. I'm going to look at the estimate once we get 1 or 2 hot months and just increase that. I'll just call it to your attention to let you know. Recall that Jeff Hayes mentioned that too, I think, for the maintenance farm, the utilities out there, but I'll look at those in depth. And then we're down to the really fun ones. Human services, we talked about that. This list of people that we donate to, and I'll get you information on text 21 Judge Cooper. And then the fire department and the emergency manager are the last 2 questions that I have, the last 2 topics. And I don't know if those need to be questions. I don't know if you want to just leave the money in the budget because we don't have a plan. It's fine if we just leave it in there and then y'all can plan, in a few months. But then the money's there for moving forward. If you want to change the emergency manager, we can do that. But I can leave the money in the budget. We can pay it to whomever it is that you determine needs to do that, or you may want to leave it with you. Right? That's certainly at your pleasure, not mine. I just need to know for budget purposes. Just leave it in there. Is that what y'all want to do for now?
Leave it.
I think so.
Yeah.
And then one more thing, on the current fire department, their contract calls for a 7.5% increase. So we're paying $1.3 million. Is it 7.5? No, it doesn't have to be 7.5. It says up to 7.5 if we can agree. So this should be the worst case scenario. So then in the third year, we pay $1,397,000 and some change. And in the second year, you don't pay 7.5 of the 1.3, you pay 7.5 of the increase of the previous year. So over the course of 10 years, the amount will double. We're at 7.65%. Because it's a compound. That's how it works. And so I'm just only bringing that to your attention. If you recall, when we approved that contract, I cautioned you about the 7.65%, but we had to have a contract, and that contract had an out, so therefore it was a legal document. But I just want to bring this to your attention so that you know that in 10 years we will be paying, if they go to 7.5, if they don't, it won't be that high. But if we can't agree, that's what the contract says. In 10 years, we'll be paying $2,679,000 and some change.
$3 million. Now, it's set for this year at 1.3 and next year at 1.3.
Yes, that's after that.
Yeah, after that. And we still, the contract that we are under, we still do have a 1 year out at any point during that time. But yes, we'd be paying over 2.6 million if at that rate. I'm glad to know my accountant figured it about the same way I did. I think I was 100,000 shy of what you are, but.
You know, in 12 years, who knows, but, you know.
Right.
Almost all the numbers in the budget are estimate, like electricity, you know, like water, like insurance. But we have to be cognizant of the fact that what those numbers could be so that we can prepare for that. Y'all have any questions? That's my list of questions. I'm sure I'll have some more at some point, Judge. I'll get with you on those.
Okay.
Any other questions? Any recommendations? Anything you'd like to see done differently? Any additional information you need? What can I do to help?
I think you've been doing great so far, and I appreciate you working me through this new tax budget. It's been a different duck for me for sure. Like I said,
we should get the taxable values from the appraisal district. They're required to be here by July the 25th. She usually is a day or two early. And then I sent y'all, I'll put these at your, this is the budget calendar. I send it to you electronically, and I put them at your budget for our first budget meeting. So I just want to let you know, the reason why we're not discussing taxable values and those things, that's because we don't know what those taxable values are going to be. There's some duties that the treasurer has, that I have, in calculating rates and getting everything together for the budget. And then I have to send a long list to the appraisal district of information that she needs to calculate these. I just want to read you what those things are. These are the things that go into the tax calculations that I prepare. Sales tax collections, we do have a 50% sales tax that is directly related to a reduction in property tax that was voted in 1988. State criminal justice mandate, indigent health care, indigent defense. These paid by defendants or indigent defendants, indigent state grants received, county hospital expenditures, debt service payments, INS fund balance, amounts paid from other sources. TxDOT pays. TxDOT basically pays the principal on the loan, and the county pays the interest. Unencumbered fund balance from general fund, unencumbered fund balance for INS fund, and total bonded debt. Then all goes to her around July the 12th, and then she'll have the numbers by the 25th, and then she'll begin calculating those tax rates. Judge, it's important that Monica has this, because if we follow it, there are meetings listed here, and so she'll have to post those meetings, 72 hours ahead of time. There are items here that have to be posted to the homepage. Judge Lee has done some of those in the past. I've done some in the past. I've just listed as if I were going to do all those. Of course, I'll make sure you have a copy of your city for it and all those kinds of things. But the next time that you would actually meet, let me make sure, is August the 7th. That's when we're going to take a record vote on the proposed tax rate. Now, we may discuss those before that, when she gets them to us, but August the 7th is when you would raise your hand and take a record vote. Standard processes, post those to the website, and then they'll go in the newspaper along with the amounts of salaries, expenses, and allowances for elected officials. And then we'll be, at that point, we'll be prepared to file the budget by August the 15th with the county clerk. and post that to the website. And then we'll hold a public hearing for the budget on August the 28th and set the tax rate at that time. Approve the salaries. There's a certain order it has to go. We'll approve the salaries of elected officials, adopt the budget, ratify the tax rate, adopt the tax rate. So this will tell you what we're going to be doing for the rest of the summer related to budget and salaries and tax rates and all those kinds of things.
Anyone got any more questions? Barbara, Mrs. Applewhite? Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Got a motion made by Commissioner Mitchell to adjourn,
Second.
second by Commissioner Parker. So all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.